It's I've got a couple of stories here for you this morning, and they're both stories that come from my experience shopping. All right, and actually, to be truthful, I wasn't shopping. Jill was shopping, and she couldn't leave me at home. Okay, that's how that works in our family. So this first story, about a little over a year ago, we are in an outlet mall in the Chicago area. And as we do when we get to such places, we kind of go our separate ways for a little while and then meet up at a prescribed time. And I did this, and so I'm wandering around a little bit, and I'm thinking ice cream, which is about the extent of most of my shopping when it comes to these places. And so I'm looking for a map where I can find something that might resemble a food court, and my eye catches a storefront. The name of the store is True Religion. Well, that looks interesting. I wonder what's there. So I walk over, and I start going in, and I find out that what they sell are blue jeans. Have any of you heard of True Religion? Some of you are shaking your head, yes. Well, this was news to me. I didn't know if it was a bookstore or what it was. Blue jeans. The owner of this company, a guy by the name of Jeff somebody, I read up on him a little bit later. I found out that what Jeff's philosophy is, his motto is that there are many religions in the world, but there's only one real religion, and that's the religion of the people. And when you buy his jeans, you can be or do anything. He has jeans for every occasion. He personally has 150 pair of jeans himself. I'm going to guess most of them are True Religion jeans. And if you want to be the queen at the party, you can be the queen at the party with his blue jeans. If you want to let that inner rebel come out, this is really what I saw on the internet, you can buy a different pair of his blue jeans. And so I walk into this store, and there's this very nice young woman, and by the way, the place is slick and chic and very young looking, and here comes this young girl, and she asked me if I'd like any help, and I said, no, I'm just browsing. And so I pretend like I'm interested. I start sorting through the clothes, and then I start turning some of the tags. Are you ready for this? Cheapest pair of jeans in the place is $159. Oh my. Yeah, there's some True Religion going on there. So that's the first story. Story number 2, shopping story. And we were in Target. This was a couple of months ago, and we were in Target in Fort Dodge. And as we do, we went our separate ways when we got in the door because we have different interests, except I have absolutely no interest in Target whatsoever. I think afterwards, the reason I was there was we were going for ice cream. You see the themes, right? With the kids, with grandkids. And so, for whatever reason, I ended up in an area called hair care. Right? I have no idea why I ended up there, but did you know that there are 3 rows of hair care products in Target? 3 rows. Well, that in and of itself is interesting to me. So I start down, and I'm looking down here, and there's fruit, and there's vegetables, and there's all kinds of scents and all these things. And, you know, I need a little shampoo and once in a while some hairspray, and that's it. 3 rows. I see this bottle. It's called Self-Absorbed. I pick it up. I turn it around, and I read it. Would you please put this up, Misty? Because I can't remember exactly what it says. This is what it says on the back of the bottle. Power up as you shampoo. Self-absorbed gets your hair physically fit. Flex your newfound strength. Flaunt the shine in the body. You've worked hard to look this good. Well, I had no idea shampoo could do these things. None whatsoever. I mean, this isn't just shampoo. This is physical fitness for your hair. This is all the answers to every appearance issue you've ever had. This is new life itself, and all that for only $16.99. Now, here's the kicker. I was going to bring a bottle to church this morning so I could show you. So I went back to Target this week, and the spot is there for self-absorbed, but there's no self-absorbed there. So I went to Walmart, I went to Walgreens, I went to CVS. Basically, I hit every store in Fort Dodge. They're all out. I called Shelley, who happened to be up in Rochester, and I said, are you going to the store? She said, of course I'm going to the store. She and my wife do a lot of things the same way. And I said, well, would you see if you could find this? She went to 4 different places. Everybody's out. So the only conclusion I come, one of two things, either self-absorbed has a delivery issue, or else there's a sermon in here someplace. Let's sing. Okay, so I have to tell you that that's not the right graphic up there, but it's okay. We've had a lot of computer problems this week. So the graphic is a picture that I took of a pair of jeans in the store that I was in, True Religion. You'll see it next week. And I took the picture, and afterwards I went to Jill and I said, babe, I've got a sermon series for next year sometime. So I'm going to start getting serious because we're going to get into the Bible and the Scriptures. Jesus, we're going to be talking for the next several weeks about true religion. And I thought the lesson that John read was just perfect. He's talking about treasures. And the kinds of treasures, the things that we treasure, and the way those treasures grab our hearts. And Jesus basically says there's two kinds of treasures. There are earthly treasures, and there are heavenly treasures. And where your treasure is, Jesus says, there your heart is also. Now, what constitutes a treasure is basically something that you would look to provide for you in life. All right, let's be clear about that. That's what a treasure is. I think that's what Jesus is talking about. So, if you're looking for security in life, you're going to store up whatever it is that will give you security. If you're looking for acceptance in life, you're going to store up whatever it is that gives you acceptance. If you're looking for protection in life, if you're looking for status, whatever it happens to be, if you're looking for meaning in life, you're going to store up those things that you believe will give you the meaning, the security, the protection, whatever it happens to be. All right? And of course, the world has its answers. It starts with cheeky shampoo ads and some guy who thinks that jeans are going to give you the perfect look. And then it gets more serious from there. It goes to cars and houses and money and financial security. It goes to Ancestry.com, where you can find out about your relatives from the past and know something about who you are, where you come from. And food and clothing, and the list goes on, and I will tell you that I got this list last night while I was preparing this sermon, and I had the TV on the background, and I listened to commercial after commercial after commercial. That's where I got the list. The only reason they have commercials out there for you is because they want you to believe that whatever it is that they're selling, whatever it is that they're trying to give you, is going to satisfy those deepest needs of the souls. They want you to store it up as the treasure that's going to give you what you need to find meaning in your life. Now, let me just say this. There is nothing wrong with any of those things. I mean, I've got a car. I look good in the car. I've got 3 cars. And I look good in 2 of them. The other one's a truck. I've got a house, I've got clothes, I've got shampoo. I do not have self-absorbed. I won't spend $16.99 for it because I don't think it's going to do it for me. I mean, only so much you can do with this, right? But you see what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with any of those things in and of themselves. The problem becomes when those things are the treasures that you look to provide safety, to provide security, to provide protection, to provide you with acceptance in this world, and the list goes on and on. If you're looking to those things, you're going to be in trouble, and here's why. Once you get them, it's never enough. It will not satisfy, so you keep looking for more. I mean, this Jeff somebody has 150 pair of jeans. And I'm going to guess by now he probably has 151 or 170 or 200. And he's the guy selling this stuff. How many cars does it take to find the right car, to give you the right look? How much money will it take to make you feel secure? You see, the problem with the earthly treasures is that they never give you what they say they're going to give you. All they give you is a need for more. And the more you have, listen to this. This is important. The more you have, the more you want. And you will spend your life chasing after things that you don't have, but when you get, those things tell you you'll have enough, and then you get them, and it doesn't do the job. So you go out and look for the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. We've talked about this in here before. You know what I'm talking about. And Jesus says, isn't there a better way? In this world, I call it the economics of scarcity. Jesus has a different way, because the safety, the security, the protection, the peace, the meaning in life comes from love. And that's a very different kind of economics. How you doing, bud? It's all right. It's a very different kind of economics. Let me give you an example. 36 years ago, I said I do. And when I did, I loved her with my whole heart. And for the record, I still do. 2 years later, Christian came along. And I did not divide my love in half. The love in my heart expanded and grew, so that it was double the amount of love. And then Corrine comes along, and then Kirsten, and then Kari. And each time, the love expanded and grew exponentially. And then the spouses came along, and then the grandkids came along. Oh my. The love grows and grows and grows and grows. And then I started my work career. I had an internship, and now this is my 5th parish. And, I will tell you that I didn't like everybody that I worked with, but I did love them. That's how it works. And the more I met, the more you love, not dividing it, it just keeps growing. And then we started this little thing down in Fort Dodge called a youth house, where kids come after school. Someday I will tell you about it. It's just crazy. I drove by there yesterday, Friday. I drove by there Friday, and I saw that there were kids out there playing. We got this started about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's mainly kids that don't have any place to go after school. And I walked in there, and I found the director, a guy that I'd been working with, that several churches, we put this thing together, and we hugged. And there's another guy that he expanded my heart. And then I started walking around, and there's this girl, she says, "Who are you, and what are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I'm one of the guys who got this place going. Oh, I love Icky's. You see that painting up there? I painted that whole thing. I said, really? She said, no, I didn't, but just a little part right there I did. But I'm here there every Thursday, Tuesday, and every Friday. She never misses. And the love just keeps expanding. And then you guys know my story with Beacon. And it just keeps expanding and growing. Treasures of the world, here's the economy. The more you have, the more you want. And the treasures of heaven, when it comes to the ways of love, the more you give, the more you have. Let's sing. So Jesus says, store up for yourself treasures in heaven. The moth won't destroy it. The thief won't steal it. It'll never rust away. And most of all, it will give you a life not based on scarcity, but it will provide for you a life of abundance, where all of those things that you're trying to satisfy are not just filled, but overflowing. Security, safety, peace, meaning for life, status in the community. That little girl I met down there, it's the first time she'd ever seen me. And immediately we made a connection. She looked up to me. I don't care that she looked up to me. What I do care about is the newfound love that I have with her. See how it works? And you know, it starts with the man who started it all, who said those words 2,000 years ago. And basically what he did was he loved people. I mean, in a nutshell, that's what Jesus is. He loves people. He loved misfits. He loved outcasts. He loved people that no one else could find a way to love. And as he did, he gave himself away, right? He gives away his love. He doesn't try to take. He doesn't try to get more. He doesn't have. He gives. And the more he gives, the more he has. Those who are loved by him. Those who are given a sense of self-dignity and respect simply because he cares about them. They're drawn to him like flies to honey. And so he loves all the more. And they keep coming. And he loves even more. He loves his enemies. He loves those who hate him. He loves those who persecute them. And they just keep coming. And the more he gives, the more he has. Until finally, he takes this economics of abundance to the cross. And he spreads his arms. And he gives up his life. Gives everything. And out of the nothingness of the tomb comes an eternity of love that reaches through time and space to you and to me. Oh my. So let me ask you, where's your treasure? Where do you find your heart? Because where your treasure is, your heart is also. And if you find that you're looking to the worldly treasures to satisfy everything that's here, I'd like to call you to a better way, to a deeper truth, to a life not of scarcity, but of radical abundance. Starts with Jesus in your life. He died for you. And he reaches across time to wrap you in his embrace. It starts there. And then he calls you to love others. And you do it because you love others, but when you do it, you find that there are these really interesting side benefits. And I know this is really hard to do because it's easy to turn on the television and watch the commercials and buy into their nonsense and believe that this is going to fix you and this is going to make you and this is going to satisfy you, and you go out and you get it and you have it and you want more. And they just keep telling you to go out and get it and have it, but you end up wanting more, and on the cycle goes. Jesus says there's another way, and it's tough to get out of this cycle, but I'm going to ask you to do it. I'm going to ask you to give of your wealth. Now, let's be clear about this. And by the way, the stewardship committee is not going to like me for this. I don't care if you don't give it here. In fact, if that's the reason you're giving it, I don't want you to give it here. But give it someplace. Give it someplace where you know you can make a difference, where you know that what you give out of your pocket will change somebody's life. Why? Not because I said so, but because of the economy of abundance. Because as you give, it changes your heart. And you are no longer fixed on what's in the pocketbook to give your life meaning and purpose. Instead, you've changed a life. And be careful when you do, because, man, once it starts, it's like an avalanche that comes down upon you. An avalanche of love. And you give, and you give, and you give some more. Give of your wealth. Give of your time. This last week, Tony Weeda and I went over to Bertha Godfrey, and this was a conversation that was started here a few weeks ago when I asked if First Lutheran were to drop off the face of the planet, would anybody in town notice? That conversation went to the church council. The church council asked us to go over and talk to the school. And we had a conversation with the principal. We're going to report that out to the church council this next week. And then we're going to go back and we're going to meet with the teachers and see if maybe there's some way we can adopt Bertha Godfrey. And don't ask me what that means yet, because I have no idea. I could tell you what I think it means, but we're not going over there to make ourselves feel good. We're going over there because there's a bunch of people to love, and we'll do whatever it takes to love them. The teachers will help us find that. Give of your time. Start small. 15 minutes, a half an hour. For someone you don't know. And as you love them, it will change them. And as it changes them, they will change you. And all of a sudden, the economy of scarcity is shown for the fraud that it is. Store up for yourself treasures in heaven. The moth can't touch it. The rust can't consume it. The thief doesn't have a chance. And as you do, you will find your life. You will find your peace. You will find your meaning. You will find your purpose. Amen.